Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, the Moocraft is here. I'm Benjamin aka Cyberspace, and welcome to this video where I'm going to talk about the Battlefield 1 closed alpha. As we all know by now, the alpha has been running for quite some time now, and I think I've tried out enough to give you guys less fortunate an insight in this new game in the Battlefield series by DICE. After hours of playing and tons of fun to be had, I can only tell you that you need to look forward to the open beta. It's going to be outstanding, can already tell from what I've seen. The game is pretty much on a good course to becoming another and beloved part of the already incredible series. But let's get right into the bone and talk about the game itself. The setting is something entirely new and unexplored by the Battlefield series. In fact, only a small number of games set in World War I is actually seen nowadays, especially when it comes to shooters. But if you've heard about Verdun, don't expect it to be like that, because it feels pretty much still like Battlefield, which is only a plus side if you ask me. World War I is known for being very slow and repetitive with the trench warfare going on, and you can't really have that in a video game, can you? It will get too boring. Then again, making it too fast will make it feel like another FPS on the market, and I think I better not mention it at all, because we all know which game I'm talking about when we're talking too fast. But, moving on to the core Battlefield information in this video. The maps, of course. Until now, 10 maps have been confirmed, I think. This is called Chateau, this Desert, Foul Fortress, Forest, Argonne, Italian Coast, Mountain Fort, St. Quentin Scar, and Zeus. They're pretty difficult to pronounce for non-English speakers like as me, or at least I'm not having English as my first language, but I tried my best. Some of the maps have already been revealed through trailers or being played on through the footage you are seeing right now. Is actually from the St. Quentin Scar map on Conquest Lodge. The rest, I guess, we'll just have to wait and see for more details from DICE. Now let's go on to the game modes. It's pretty basic though, but let's go through them one by one. Rush is back, the classic they will know. I can't wait to see how this is going to get played with new classes, and don't worry, I'll go over the classes in just a minute. Conquest is also back with basically the same thing. You capture and hold as many control points, but this time it's not about tickets but rather points. The first to 200 wins the game. Surprise. Team Deathmatch is back also with yeah, it's just basically Team Deathmatch. And Breakthrough is rumored, but it's not really confirmed yet. But yeah, we don't know anything about this one. Then there's Domination, which is Conquest on a small scale without vehicles. And yes, I have tried it in the beta. Oh, whoa, wow, no, not the beta. Sorry, the alpha. Let's move on. Then there's Possession. It's not really being confirmed, but my guess is that it's called for capture the flag. Maybe get the enemy's intel. You have to get possession of the enemy's intel. I mean, DICE like to rename classic game modes, as seen in Star Wars Battlefront, with cargo being replaced being capture the flag, but with, you guessed it, cargo instead of a flag. But yeah, I guess that's just how they roll now. But okay. Air superiority is also back, and I cannot wait to see how this is going to turn out, because hot dog fights in the sky in World War I banners planes, it can't be any better. And the play is just so much more skill based now that you have removed all the lock-on weapons or all the tech from the Battlefield 4 games, which was in modern time. And I can't wait to see how this is going to play, and I already said that, so let's move on. Behemoth, or Airship, or what the hell ever you call it, is not really confirmed yet, but I guess it's just being like the Titan mode in Battlefield 21 and 42, or Carrier Assault in Battlefield 4, where you have to destroy the enemy's Zeppelin and defend your own. It sounds incredible. DICE themselves also been teasing something called Operations, which is described as being attack/defend in interconnected battles, which means when the defenders fall back after being crushed by the attackers on one map, they are suddenly on an entirely different map defending again. I like this idea, and I think it will keep matches refreshing. And now to the classes at last. There's Assault, which is the anti-tank and close quarters class. Support is still support with ammo and stuff. Then there's the Medic, basically the healing class in the team, and Scout is the new sniper class. But wait, there's more. When you spawn in a tank or plane, you actually spawn as a 5th class called the Pilot or Tanker. Personally, I think this is a great improvement from Battlefield 4, where the Engineer, for example, was a bit OP, considering he could both repair tanks and fire anti-tank weapons in a fight, making it tough to drive a tank as a different class than the Engineer, because you couldn't repair your own tank and attack the other tank. Last but not least, let's look at the weaponry. Oh wait, let's not do that completely because the game's not yet completed. I mean, yes, the weapons are pretty balanced right now, but I guess they can get more balanced. There's something about the sniper having a sweet spot when it only kills in a certain range and stuff like that, but you can see some of it in action in-game in the footage, but otherwise I won't go over it now because it's too early in development. Things will change. Some things will maybe even get removed or replaced or something like that. But for example, Dynamite has been teased in one of the trailers for the support, I believe, but it's not yet available. Looking forward to Blow Tanks Up Style the beta though, where I'm sure we'll get to see a lot more weapons and balanced gameplay tools. So look forward to that. Now we're going to talk about the alpha, what I've seen, and my thoughts on some of the new features. Starting off with the Zeppelin, of course. When playing on this San Quentin Scar map, you'll see a Zeppelin, or airship, or behemoth, or giant fucking cigar, if you want to call it that. I don't care. It's posted when a team has gained a lead with 20 or more points, something about that, and in order to give the losing team a bigger chance of turning the tide. Of course the Zeppelin can be destroyed and it will explode in a huge sea of flames and crash down in the middle of the map wherever it was controlled or flew. Yeah, wherever it was flying, you can actually control it and yeah, change its course and destroy. It will, when it crashes down, it will then destroy all structures in its way and leaving behind a huge chunks of steel. When this happens, almost everyone on the entire server turn in amazement to see this event happen. And it only happens once in a match, and sometimes it doesn't even happen, so it's a bit of a rare event, and it's basically the selling point for the Battlefield game here, because we all know that the skyscraper from Battlefield 4 was the selling point back then, and now it's the Zeppeliner, and it's also a very brilliant selling point. Then there's the bayonet charge, which you might have seen in a few clips now. If you're sprinting and you click the melee button, which is F, your character will start to run even faster, holding out the bayonet in front of him and releasing a war cry so terrifying that your faces of the enemy will melt. Okay, I'm just kidding. It's incredibly satisfying to mow down your enemies like that, and it doesn't feel nice at all being on the receiving end. Trust me, I've tried it. But it's just so satisfying to do it. You can also use it to cover open distances quickly if you are in danger of being shot, but keep in mind that you can't sprint for short duration afterwards. What are your thoughts on the alpha? Have you tried it out yet? If not, don't worry, not many got invited to it, and the beta will more or less be the same thing, but more polished with more weapons and more features. So you're not missing out on anything big, don't worry. Maybe some game-breaking bugs, I've seen a few actually. Blue screens and deaths and crashes and but it's an early alpha, so who are you to blame really? I mean, it will get better. They'll fix it. Hopefully. Most of it. Thank you for watching this video. Remember to hit the thumb pointing towards the sky, that being the like button of course, and get a subscription today in order to catch up on future content. Have a nice day and keep on gaming.